For you to get your message to your customers, it oftentimes needs to be packaged in the form of media. We're going to talk about the different types of media that you can use to deliver your message, your value proposition to your customer. There are 4 types of media that we'll talk about: paid, earned, shared, and owned. Now, all of these have different implications for your business, both when to use them, at what stage, as well as how much it would cost, and if it's even worth it to the business. Now, we'll talk about each in detail, starting with paid. So paid media is promotional content that you as a venture create, but it's distributed or promoted by someone else for a fee. Now, there's a lot of pros here with paid media. One is that it often provides instant results. If you're paying someone with established experience and or an established customer base, you're going to see instant results. It's also easy to track in the case of pay-per-click. You can see exactly how much money you're spending and have it directly correlate to the results that you're seeing. Now, you also have a lot of control here over the message and the copy because you're paying someone to just reiterate a message that you've crafted. And it's easy to target high-intent customers by paying for media on strategies and platforms that your customers are already interacting with. Now, there are some cons. For one, there's a cost associated to this, so this is initially expensive. It also gets more expensive as competition increases, because as more people are willing to pay, the prices go up. And it can become really easy to get dependent on paid channels that don't necessarily scale with spend. Now, owned media is when you're promoting your content with channels that you directly control. Now, this is great because it offers complete control to you as the venture. It also costs less because it's a channel that you already control. And if you're publishing directly to your site and customers come to your site to find the content, it's a great way to maintain both control as well as increased activity on your site. Now, some of the cons here is that you're going to limit the audience that you're able to target, especially if you don't already have a lot of people coming to your site or your own channels, such as social media. It also needs a lot of internal maintenance. Oftentimes, a lot of startups end up having to invest in hiring a social media marketing manager or even just a content marketing manager to manage all of the different owned channels and content that they're using to promote their brand. Now, earned media is something that's been on the rise in the last couple of years. This is where promotional content is distributed solely on word of mouth of others. Now, the pros here is that it increases your credibility because you didn't have to pay someone to advertise or share a message that you already stamped with your approval. It also heightens brand awareness because as word of mouth spreads, so does brand awareness, and it does so organically. And the last pro is that it expands your reach. So others are talking about you rather than you having to do the work to spread the message yourself. Now, the cons here is that it can bring up a lot of negative publicity that you didn't plan for. You don't have control over what your word of mouth partners are saying about you. They can share both good things as well as bad. It also takes time and effort to create a following and a word of mouth culture around your brand. Oftentimes we see YouTube videos or different memes or content that's been shared that seems to go viral overnight. But little do we know that that content's probably been shared years ago, months ago, and it's only just now coming to light through a stroke of randomness. And that's something that we can't control. And then the last thing that we have to also consider is that it can be difficult to collect. It could be really hard to track how this is doing and if it's something that you can invest and or rely on.